Hello, welcome back to this next match. So this is my game 3, Dented Shield Season 3. Yeah, game 3, third one. So this is the Sekresh Whirlers, my Underworld team, who I've been struggling with, struggling to get to grips with. Playing against Halflings this week. So the Halfling team, the Hairy Seacums, also been struggling so far. Between us, we're the only teams without a win yet. There the Necromantic team went into week 3 with 2 defeats as well, but won their third game, as we saw just now in this playlist, last video. Yeah, this is the bottom 2. So here we go. I've been finding Underworld pretty hard work. Like one of the Necromantic coach from the league was on with us on Discord last night while we were playing this, asking how I was finding Underworld. This hurt. Three rerolls down straight away. Leave me with 1 for the half. I'm defending here, so we'll watch this half from behind the Halflings. But we'll be looking at the teams first. So go from this way. Yeah, and I just said I've been disappointed. I've been finding them really hard work. I have no levelled players yet. Actually, both teams have no level players, so there's not going to be a lot to see in what the teams look like. But yeah, it's been hard going so far. I think Underworld can get really good once you get some good advances on them. And going into the third game with no one having leveled yet, I think I'm having to play the long game a bit. So half is cut short by a turn. Straight into turn 2. So yeah, my team here, I've just gone 3 goblins on the line to try and stand up to these tree men. Offset it, so if there was a perfect defence, I could have stuck them over here instead. I wouldn't have been able to avoid both tree men. If both tree men were over here, I would have been able to. But having one in the middle does prevent that. And then I'm just sort of sat up here quite passively. Yeah, not really leaving them anywhere to get a decent blitz on anyone. Yeah, that's where we've gone. Halflings are scattered quite. Yeah, it's an interesting shape. I've not seen this one before, really. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, totally fine. Before James starts having a go at me for having a go at him, but yeah, it'd be interesting to hear the reasoning. But I don't think he said it's particularly vulnerable or anything. And yeah, has decent coverage on the ball. I think if there was a blitz, yeah, I'd have struggled to get the ball anyway. But yeah, no levels on this team either, so they've also been struggling to level. There's a couple of players around on 5 points. Don't know where they are. That one's on 2. Yes, so this is a Halfling who has a casualty. My only player with a casualty so far is a troll. But yeah, so rolling straight into those line of scrimmage blocks and having dodge on those players is good for me. Yes, 3 dice blocks first. And there's a goblin down. Maybe stunned? Is stunned, yeah. Leaves 2 dice on this goblin. It's just a push. So could if they'd wanted to keep that goblin sort of trapped in there, could have pushed against the tree man and then stood firm to leave that goblin trapped there, but yeah, may have wanted the space anyway. This ball pickup, a failure. So fail pickup after a reroll. Halflings have got rerolls to burn. They're up to 6 for this half. But this left me with a bit of an opportunity to get some pressure on the ball. I want to see the tackle zones. It doesn't show. It never shows us when we want them. Yeah, I knew I just wanted the troll to move this turn, so getting it done quickly while there was still someone in his tackle zone. Basically, all 3 of these Skaven. There we go. So the tackle zone's up. I've got this gap in here where I want to be getting them down for pressure on the ball. Blitzer and a thrower here. I think this blitzer needed, is it 1 or 2 go for it's to get this guy for the blitz. Going around here to try and tie up some halflings, force them to dodge, and keep out of the way of the tree men with my important players. That is down. That did need. I think it was just 1 go for it. But my thrower needs 2 go for it to get a tackle zone on the ball, so I'm looking at ending this turn with 2 players standing on the ball. Yeah, makes both of those. here, just another player next to my troll to increase the chances of not needing to move someone before I make my really stupid roll next turn. That's another goblin around there, and then just getting away from the tree man, I think. And another marker. So pretty commanding position for the kicking team. Having just like the 5 players closest to the ball now are all my players, which is quite a good position to be in. Neither tree man's blitz this turn, which is good news for me. Do have a halfling going here though, so it's just 1 dice on this blitz, and just a push. And this halfling can get around to mark the ball, I think. Oh, I'll just mark my thrower at first. And that one in there. So halfling sort of might as well try for a pickup, because I think if they scatter it, it's... Although they've got 2 tackle zones on it now. I was just wondering about if they scatter it, it's probably going to be in a better position for them. It's probably more likely. Barry gets a 3 dice down, but has to take a push back. More pushes there. So not doing at all well at knocking players over here. A lot of pushbacks this turn. Have another go at this one, and if that's a push, this lineman can have a go as well. Oh yeah, that was deliberately putting that goblin there to make a T-shape so I could get a chain push to scatter the ball away, and then blitz it with the thrower. I did sort of somehow miss that he'd still need to dodge even if he knocked this guy back, because this halfling will also mark him, but makes the dodge and the pickup and runs it in for an early touchdown. Which is my first touchdown of the season, into the 3rd game to get it, and it comes what was 2 turns in with the riot for turn 3, when kicking, so not really when you expect to be scoring, and certainly not that quickly usually. Sort of unfortunate moment with the foul ball pickup there, with the gap that was available to get my players through, and because Skaven are pretty quick at movement 7, there were some go for it's involved, but I managed to get on the ball quite quickly, which helped somewhat. Just using a quick snap to come back there a bit. That's a taken root tree man, which I like to see, so I'll just be doing my best to just not go near this tree man now, and he's effectively out of the game at that point. Well, the halfling player will be looking at trying to push people into the tree man. Can of course still throw halflings as well from that spot, but I won't be able to move to pick them up. So it's quite tricky. I might take, because there's been no advances, I might just take off all of the skills, because they're getting in the way a bit, especially with all these tall players around. It's difficult to see past treatment at the best of times. The troll as well can hide players. I think the halfling player kept missing that there were like goblins standing in front of these tree men and stuff. I think it'd be a bit more difficult to see. Gone a little far forward with the ball carrier there, So I was trying to pause, but then we switch it around. Right, because this splitzer can reach. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 2 go for it for 2 dice on the ball, which I considered not taking and thought, is there something safer, a safer place I can blitz? But in the end, I decided it's on the ball. I've got to take it. So I do go for that. I'm just looking for some safer moves first. Through 1, go for it there to make sure I get a tackle zone on the ball. Thrower comes forward here to look at hopefully a loose ball next turn, but he's in position to do that, and with sure hands is the one I probably want picking up the ball if I need to. Thrower levelled instantly when he scored. Got MVP first game and hasn't managed any of the points since. That's first levelled up player. I've got a goblin around on 5 points as well from an MVP from the second game. So I do get that blitz in, and it is down. So knocking the ball loose. Doesn't catch it, but lands in 2 of my tackle zones, so pretty good. And this lineman can come around as well for 3rd tackle zone with another go for it. I've been throwing a lot of go for it's in this. Something I usually like to try to avoid. Oh, this was going to be another tackle zone on the ball, but that was a failed dodge. I think I was going to look at going in there. So halfling turn. So this tree man can throw halflings, but nothing else. And that's a goblin smashed in by a tree man, and he's injured as well. Don't think this is anything bad. No, it's badly hurt. So I do have a 7th goblin on the bench. I think I've got 7 altogether, maybe 6. Push back there. Might have gone onto the ball for the scatter, but it's not necessarily going to be anywhere better. But that's three Underworld tackle zones on the ball. Halflings maybe just looking to compete for those now. And that one looking to go be a scoring threat, so I think this lineman will be going to watch there. Get the troll marking as many halflings as possible. Another just pushback on that one. Splits coming in here. This is where I had an annoying thing. So I was trying to deliberately. I could see there was a box there, and when you got a box, if you hit someone in the corner diagonally, you're going to get to chain push. And I wanted to push my blitzer onto the ball to see if I can scatter it somewhere somewhere I could try and get a good pick-up roll or maybe catch a bounce. But the screen did that thing where it recentered as I was clicking, and it forced me to push him there. It's quite annoying. And yeah, that meant that halfling had to go that way. But in hindsight, actually, I've got 3 tackle zones on the ball there. It's probably already a pretty good position for me. Yeah, it probably wouldn't necessarily have done anything better, but I would also have got my my blitzer marked by 1 fewer player. And if he's standing there, he could maybe have hit this guy, and then the ball would be somewhere around here. But yeah, 4 tackle zones on the ball for me, so winning that battle. But I'll take them both down there. Probably shouldn't have thrown that block, really. I was sort of looking for a 3+ roll to at least get this halfling away. Yeah, but came up with them both down, which I had to take. I've still got I've only had 1 reroll for this half, and I've still got it. So I might have used it there, but it's so near the end of the turn, it probably wasn't really worth it. Just to push on my troll there. Hopefully pushes him back next to one of my teammates. So he pins that goblin against the touchline. Those stunty players can get out of this a bit easier than not stunty players. Yeah, I think just retreating from some blocks. Another pushback. I was looking here at moving players in to assist on my troll, so that's 2 assists if I can get rid of this guy. But of course this lineman can't assist, which is what I was looking for at the time. Because the lineman's marked by the treeman, so I think I need this goblin here, and then that's 2 dice there, which is only a push, so not enough to free up this lineman for the assist. I mean, it's only one dice there, which I'm not taking. And another pushback. From my thrower, and this goblin can come in. Maybe go for a pickup and gets it. Which was surprising. I think I was looking at maybe trying to scatter it. I can't remember at the time. But yeah, then once he's got it in his hands, I'm looking to see if I can get him out somewhere. Could maybe have tried a difficult throw to this thrower, because he's on 5 points. It might have been nice to level him. But that's a fouled pickup twice, so that's all scattering off the pitch as well. And just a bit too far over to this side for my liking, because I've got 2 turns left. Really this turn, a priority for me needs to be, and I'm pointing this out because I know I don't get to it because I have a turnover first, but I need to get this thrower over here somewhere where he can pick up the ball in turn 8, throw it to preferably a blitzer over here somewhere to run it in. But I know I don't get as far as being able to move my thrower. I can't remember where the turnover comes. Pushes there. This halfling's quite surfable. Take 3 dice there, and that's where I use my 1 reroll for the half. Yeah, that would have been a turnover. So blitzing there to try and get this blitzer down somewhere near scoring position, or near the ball in fact, and then I'm looking at so lineman in there. Okay, so just a push, which is no good on a tree man. Oh, I think this was my, because this is a yeah, surfable on 2 dice halfling, but comes up double skulls, and I used a reroll on the 3 dice block turnover earlier in the turn, and that was, yeah, that 2 dice block I thought safer than trying to dodge this thrower away. So yeah, that was where my turnover came. And I think now my only hope is, I think it's this thrower. He's the only one who can score now for me, so I'm looking at trying to get him down here. Or is it this? No, this blitzer can reach as well. But I know my thrower can't reach the ball, which is the key thing, and there's a halfling standing on it. We have a throw. So I think he's thrown that halfling at the blitzer, but it landed marketing instead. And that was a both down on that 1 dice block, which knocks both out. 1 halfling, 1 goblin, both knocked out. Yeah, so all I do have now, I think, is so this blitzer is unmarked, can reach the ball, try pick up in the tackle zone and throw it to this blitzer in the end zone. I think I put the blitzer in the end zone first, which maybe in hindsight is the wrong way around, but it'll be a 4+ catch without, I don't know. It's not an easy score anyway, but I do have a couple of surfs on here, so I'll take those to try and get the numbers more to my liking for the second half. That's an injury on that halfling, which is a -1 armor value. That halfling was retired after the game. That's another 2 dice surf here for no injury. Yeah, so I do move this blitzer first. So blitz the halfling, and run into the end zone. No halfling turn to go, so he's pretty safe there. But I'd like to make this pick up on a 4, but that's just a 1. Halfling catches the ball. So half time, 1-0 to me having kicked, so good position to be in, which we say every time it happens. If you've kicked and you're winning at half time, you're in a great position to win the game. So knockout comes back for the halflings, but not for me. So the goblin Rylan Clark Neal will be putting in an appearance this turn, but I'm down to 10 players. Lose 3 rerolls again, which is, I think, so I did pretty well going through that first half, only using 1 reroll. There are probably only a couple of other occasions I would have wanted to. This half I missed them more. There were definitely more occasions this half where I wanted to reroll dice. So what I'm looking at here, because I'm outstrengthed by both of these tree men, only real chance I've got at 2 dice is I have to have this halfling marked so he can't assist, so I put a goblin there so he can dodge away afterwards. 1 assist there, and I need to get an assist in there for on that tree man. That's the only way I can get 2 dice with my troll. I think really want to play a nice sort of patient half and try and make sure I can score a touchdown. I'd love to be able to get 2 touchdowns, and there's a goblin around somewhere on 5 points. I think it might be this one actually, who would be an ideal candidate to score because that's another player levelled, and I can pick up a nice mutation. I think I said before I want probably the first goblin who levels to 3 dice pushback, but yeah, I think the first goblin who levels I'd like to get big hand on. Because I think Stunty and Big Hand is a brilliant combination. Troll, so double skulls, and use that as my only reroll. Try to risk on that loner as well. That just makes that pushback. Yeah, and then dodge the goblin away afterwards. And this is the one on 5 points who I'd like to score with. And grab the ball and then just hold it back here, out of range. Halflings are not at all quick. Slowest team in this league. So ball is very safe way back here, and the halflings actually now play very passively. I think even with their slow speed, I'd have probably sent 3 or 4 halflings into this half to force me to do something with the ball, and sort of shut off this approach. But they do pile them back here instead, which is just a different approach. It's more about trying to stop the score than get the ball. But it's, equally valid, or perfectly valid. So 3 dice on this goblin here. My opponent got a bit fixated with trying to kill Rylan Clark Neal. I don't know why he'd want to do that. I think he's lovely. And a couple of dice on my troll here. So my troll's always going to be in trouble for this half. Up against 2 strength 6 opponents. So it's always going to be a bad game for Barry. But Barry has, as yet, not failed a really stupid roll, which is quite nice. Is the only good thing he's done, because he hasn't even knocked anyone over yet. 1 dice there. So there's this wall of halflings here, and I've got blitzers kind of stuck in, trapped in here. Who can only roll pushbacks. I just can't get halflings off the pitch, and you kind of think halflings should be a bit of a walkover, but yeah, I mean when you can only roll pushbacks and have with them all having dodge as well, with no tackle on the pitch. A lot of dodge players with no tackle on the pitch means there were a lot of pushbacks in this game, and that was a turnover with a lineman blitz in there. Gets a stun on the halfling, but nothing else. I still had a goblin laying down who I hadn't done anything with. Take root tree man, big deal for me. I need more of that. But that's the one who can't move. Pushes that goblin away. And that's the lineman who was trapped there at the beginning. think would have been able to move away had the troll got a knockdown on a tree man. But he's basically now a bit pinned here because it's a 3+ dodge to get him away, which is going to be a relatively risky move that I might not even get to. Shoot out some more blitzer. And yeah, I've got basically my whole team sucked into this pocket here, who are a bit stuck. And while I'm quicker than the other team, they're all sort of a bit too far forward, and it's a long way back around these tree men to try and do a quick switch to the other flank. And yeah, I think I've just played it too aggressively here, I think. There's the blitzer knocked down, who's going to be stuck in there for another turn at least. I think at this point I should be looking at pulling a lot of these players back here to try and regroup, and then leave the options open for both flanks, see what the halflings do next. Maybe try and drive down this way if they hold this position, but I'd imagine they'd come back towards the middle. Yeah, I think he's a bit stalematey at this point, really. I've got no way through, and not really any way back. Another push back from my blitzers. My blitzers have been awful so far. They've basically done nothing in 3 games. So do start here with putting someone back. I think I'm looking at making this a difficult block for the tree man next turn if he wants to hit my troll. So Goblin's back here, basically protecting my troll. Ball goes this way to, I think, slightly foul dodge. I think moving the thrower over here was a slight test of what I could do if I'd pulled everyone back round here, to see how the halflings reacted. And they do come and cover this wing a bit, which maybe, if enough of them come over, might mean I could push on with this flank and try and get through. But that wasn't really a premeditated thing. It was all. Yeah, so that was I'd left that blitzer in a pretty surfable position there, but got a knockdown first time. So tree man goes 1 dice on the troll and gets a pushback with a reroll, and walks there into 2 dice. So I can stand this goblin up. So does a goblin knocked out on both down. Just a stun for the halfling who did it. Yeah, so I'm looking here. Stand up this goblin. Troll has 2 dice on the tree man. But I've got some safer moves first. Although that was stupid. That was a mistake. I thought I had 2 dice. Started double clicking because I was sort of planning ahead for my turn. I was planning on blitzing with this blitzer into there, and I thought, well, once he's done that, this halfling can't assist, and that's 2 dice there. And then stupidly, without checking that I'd done any of that, and just double clicking on it, I thought I'll just do that block first, which is just stupid. It's just a really stupid way to play the game and roll a skull on the 1 dice block that I shouldn't have been making first. Yeah, just not concentrating hard enough. Yeah, so now we've got halflings up in the way of my thrower. He's been intercepted on twice this league so far, so he's got a bit of a long way round, and then not really anywhere to go. If he advances next turn, he's got to throw it. If he goes back, he's going to get trapped back here with halflings spread out, and it's just going to get worse and worse. So just moving those 2 halflings forward pressures my thrower into having to do something next turn, or go back and just make it worse for himself later. But there's an inkling of a little gap here, and I'll be looking at, I think, getting blitzers through if I can. They're the ones I really want levelling up, so I'd love them to be scoring. So halflings next to the rooted tree man, maybe looking at putting a throwdown at some point. Another base down by a halfling on a 1 dice, and that halfling's knocked out. Goblin's fine to stand up next turn, which is good because I wanted him to. And yeah, this is a lot more space now. So this blitzer's free to come stand over here. Well, where I'm looking at making the pass, I kind of want at least an inaccurate throw, really. So that lineman pushes that hobgoblin out the way, and this blitzer is free to come through here as well. Yeah, I want at least an inaccurate throw so that I can... I've got a 3 dice block here first. Another pushback. Yeah, if I can just have the ball sitting around somewhere around these blitzers, I think I'm making it difficult for the halflings, so that's what I'm going for. So re-rolls a fumble to get an inaccurate throw, but isn't caught, but is in a blitzer's tackle zone. So I've got the ball forwards up there, where I'm looking quite good for scoring. But I imagine now, well, I remember now that we see, and really it's the right play. Just flood the ball with with halflings, make it difficult to pick up. So halflings aren't good Blood Bowl players individually, but when you can't get them off the pitch, and they're slow, but they have stunty and dodge. They're quite manoeuvrable with their slow speed, and they can get in your way. And when you can't remove them, they're just annoying. They could just be there. That's 4 tackle zones on the ball. I'm not picking that up. But this is exactly the sort of thing I want a big hand goblin for, to just run into there and pick up on a 3 and then dodge away again. And I think, is this the goblin over here? Oh no, where's the goblin on 5 points? I've lost him. This one here. So I really want him levelling. So I've got a player who can just go in, pick up, pull up and run away with it. And after big hand comes 2 heads to make all those dodges 2+. But looking to push onto the ball there, but wanted the knockdown, so took the both down one and then just marked for myself. And here I can do the same thing really, of trying to just stick tackle zones on the ball, bide my time. I've still got 2 turns after this one to try and get that ball in someone's hands and over the line. Troll moving away from the tree men, seeing if there's still a halfling standing next to him next turn that he can hit. 2 dice there. So I'd love more casualties for my troll, really, and if he can get 3 dice blocks on a halfling, it's a really decent opportunity. With the way that Stunty and Mighty Blow stack as well. So 5 halfling tackle zones, 3 Skaven tackle zones. There they can get 2 dice on my thrower to knock him away from the ball. And then that blitz is pushed away. And we're down to 1 Skaven. And that's another failed dodge. So I think they could there have. Did it actually pause then? Oh, it's paused and stuck. Gonna have to see what happens here. So there might have to be a... Oh, here we go. Right, okay. Yeah, that was odd. Right. Yeah, what I was going to say from there before was, I think this halfling hadn't acted. If this one hadn't followed up, this one could have moved in there, and that's 2 dice on that blitzer as well to move another one away. Yeah, I think was the only thing missing there. So 3 dice block from the troll, another pushback. So did get that block on the halfling that I wanted, but nothing of it. Yeah, removal, just a knockout, so no points. But yeah, again, just trying to get, just trying to win that tackle zone battle. 2 assists out with that goblin, trying to scatter the ball. Very favourable scatter for me. I can go put that lineman next to it as well. I think I've got players over here who can come round. This is the player I really want to score with if possible, so I'd like to get him forwards. And goes for the pickup on a 4, but fails out on a 3. Again, very favourable scatter. So down to the halflings, I think, to try and block this up. Rooted tree man, so that was going to be a blitz on my troll, which didn't make it because of that take root. I think I could have re-rolled that. Well, they already re-rolled something. Grayed out. Not a failed dodge. What was that? No, it was a go for it. Knocked out on a failed go for it. So over to my turn. So plays I've got. This goblin who I want to score is 7 away from the end zone. He is marked at the moment. There's a tackle zone on the ball, so that would be 2 dodges and a 4+ pickup and a go for it to score. I've got easy clearances of these tackle zones, so I want to push this one away with the blitzer. I'll probably take this block with that blitzer as well. This lineman can push this guy away. And then Roger here on 5 points just has 3+ pickup, 2+ go for it to score. So that's what I'm looking at for this. That's three dice from the troll as well. Pretty safe move, but another pushback again. Where am I going in here? Am I making this? I'm making this 3 dice, I think, aren't I? So that's a knocked down halfling for nothing. Other blitzer, just a pushback. And then that's 3 dice. Probably should have done that first. Safer than 2 dice blocks. And another knockout, but still no casualties. My trolls had 1 casualty against Khemri. This is the play, but 1 on the pickup. Ends the game. It's basically a 1-0. There's no scoring now. But yeah, that all basically went to plan, apart from the pickup roll. Then he had a go for it as well. So if he'd picked it up, he probably would have fallen over on the line, hit the old end zone tripwire. I think Halflings have got 2 dice on my thrower here. Do knock him down again. But no armor break. And what's this one? I think this one's going to get thrown by a tree man who's just aiming at this group of players, looking for the scatter to land them on somebody. Landed on a goblin, knocked it down, but just stunned the halfling. So levelling halfling with the MVP. I think this is the one who had a casualty previously and took sidestep. My thrower levelled and took block. I like the MVP landing on a blitzer. That makes me feel a bit hopeful. I can try and level him next game. So out blocking them, which is good. Like, they only really have the tree men who are dangerous at blocking. Otherwise, it's just trying to gang up. But yeah, very low injury. The only injury inflicted was a serf, and that halfling was retired and replaced. Got a few knockouts in. Oh, hang on. No, sorry. That injury inflicted was a goblin, a badly hurt goblin by a tree man. So the one casualty that yielded any points in the game was a tree man, going up to 4 points for the second. But yeah, not a lot of ball possession for either team really. It spent a lot of time laying on the floor, just with tackle zones on it. A very stalemate sort of game. Not a lot of star player points generated, which both of these teams have been struggling with all season. That's 3 games now with hardly anything, and both only had their first player level this game. Really Stupid was good to me on that game. I rolled 11. Why did I roll 11? I guess there were turns where I suffered a lot of turnovers, so probably wasn't getting to the troll a lot of the time. It spent 1 turn stunned. So between them, that's 5 turns of not doing anything. Sure, if I'd rolled more, it would have failed. And Loner was good to me as well on the 1 time it happened. But I didn't really I had 1 reroll each half. So Loner was never going to be a big deal in this game. 2 passes because I re-rolled it. Yeah, both failed. It was a 5+ pass I was looking for though. Go for it's were really good to me as well. So yeah, dice were all pretty good. D6 wise. Blocking dice were quite horrible. Loads and loads of pushbacks, and even these were basically no good. And yeah, these were pretty awful. But you know, it's what you have to deal with this game, as we keep saying. Dice weren't great for the Halflings either. There were a lot of failed dodges. Actually, how are my dodges? That's something I didn't look at. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's pretty good because all those dodges would have been 3+. So that's above average. And just below for the Halflings. A couple of failed go-for-its for them. Didn't make as many as me, so the inverse to what should happen really. They only made 6 go-for-its, playing it quite safe. 2 of them failed. And it felt like I was making a load. 14 go-for-it rolls is really high. I'd normally not be wanting to do anything like that, but I think I was just caught in so many situations where just one more square would have been great, and they all worked, which is quite unreasonable. But that's how it went. So 1-0 finish there. First win of the season for me. There's one more game to play in this week, which is Khemri against Norse, which I think is happening tonight, and then we'll close down the round. Other ones we saw this one the other night. That's Necromantic against Norse. Finished 2-1 to Necromantic. The Kaosdorf team, that's 3 wins from 3 for now. For them, they beat the Lizardmen team 2-0. And that's how it stands. So pretty unchanged as it is. I don't think the Khemri team, even if they win, I don't think they'll be scoring enough touchdowns to go above. I think they've got 8 so far, the Kaosdorf team. So, excuse me, just caught my lead there. Moved. Yeah. So if I'm sitting in a different position at this point, it's because I've just moved my computer. Right. Table's pretty much unchanged this week. I think this is roughly how we stood last week as well, and there's still one game to play. So the North team down in 5th. It's 5th place second in that game tonight. Don't think. If the North win, they'll go 4th. But I don't think there'll be any other changes from that. And then next week, so week 4 already. It's going pretty quick this season. So I have the Lizardman team next. Really not looking forward to that. I think they're going to be a struggle. But actually, all they've really got is strength. There's no skills on the team as such. Where are they? I think one Saurus has block. I have three block players now, actually. Might be better than I was initially thinking. 1 block Saurus with a niggling injury, and there's a sidestep skink. Yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough trying to deal with these skinks because I've got no tackle. But I guess if I can, I've got a lot of agile players who can keep away from the Saurus. Maybe, I don't know. It's going to be tough. I think this game anyway. They're definitely doing better than me this season. But yeah, we will be back. I'll try and cover another game as well. Who haven't we seen yet? Actually, there's a match where we haven't seen 2 of the teams. There's not. But we'll try and cover maybe this one. I don't know. I might just see how the games go and what looks most interesting to try and cover next week as well. And I should hopefully have time because things are quietening down a bit. But yeah, anyway, I'm into waffle mode. We'll be back with another match next week.